Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today I'm really excited to show you everything that my 11th grader is going to be using for homeschool this year. It is a fun time of year when all of the homeschool moms come out and share what they're using for their kids for school. And it's a little bit different when they get to high school because I do feel like, it's just not as cut and dry as it is in the elementary years, right? Because they're taking more electives and they're doing, different things that are maybe a little bit more non-conventional or unconventional. We're gonna put together a course on this thing that you've been spending a ton of time on. So I'm gonna give you, 4 books to read on it. I want you to write me some papers and we're gonna call that a course. I've done that multiple times with my high schoolers. And so I have officially 2 children left in my homeschool, which is wild to me. We're gonna have 2 years where it's just gonna be me and the girls. And so that's gonna be fun. Trying not to be sad about my class size getting smaller and smaller, but this is life. So without further ado, I'm going to share with you guys what we are using for 11th grade this year with my daughter. All right, so I'm gonna just start at the beginning and I'm just gonna kind of go through our day, what we are going to be learning together. So the first thing that we do every day is we start with Bible. We always are reading through a book of the Bible and then usually the proverb of the day. This year, I'm really hoping that we can focus more on the Psalms because it's something I've wanted to do for a long time. And so I do read Psalms a lot, but I would love to just kind of dive in and study them more. But more than anything, we just use the Bible. I don't have a ton of Bible resources or even really apologetic resources this year. We are going to be kind of along with Bible. We're going to read the Bible and then we're going to go straight into kind of a philosophy course. It's called The Consequences of Ideas by R.C. Sproul. This also has a video component to it, which you can get on Compass Classroom or Ligonier Ministries. I'm so excited for this one because I've wanted to read this book for a long time, but it's all about philosophers. It talks about philosophy, and then it talks about some very key philosophers in history. And there's a chapter on each of those and kind of the impact that they had and kind of what they believed and all those things. So Aristotle, Augustine, Thomas Aquinas, Descartes, Locke, David Hume, Karl Marx, this is going to be a really good study. And so I don't know what I'll do as far as assigning her papers and stuff with it. It'll be just a very conversational course. I'm assuming it's only gonna take us a half of the year. So I'm thinking this is gonna be a semester class. So maybe I'll come up with something else for her to do after Christmas break, but we'll see about that. So we're doing the consequences of ideas, kind of for our morning Bible time. And then going into math. So that's usually the first subject that we start with for the day. And she's gonna be doing a college course for that. And so I don't have much more to say about that. She's doing it through college in kind of a hybrid setting. She doesn't do it on campus. I don't let my kids do on-campus classes for PSEO because I feel like you're in high school, so we're gonna do things at home. And so she's going to be doing a math course for PSEO and then English. So for English, we're kind of still on the fence. It would be for the spring semester, but there's a possibility that she will be doing a college writing and resource course. And so that would cover her English credit for that. The other thing that I'm going to have her do is something that's new to us. It is called the Classical Roots Vocab. So last year, my daughter did Latin, and she did that with Compass Classroom. And so this year, I'm going to have her kind of continue that a little bit because the vocab or classical roots vocab, it's all about Greek and Latin roots of vocabulary words and kind of building out vocabulary from there. And so hopefully that kind of helps her retain some of the Latin that she learned all last year. And hopefully it will help grow her vocab too, which I think will help for like ACT and that kind of thing as well. So she's going to be using the 11th grade level book for that. And then I think that's it for English. All right, so the next thing on my list is history and science. So for history, last year we did, is his name Dave Raymond? I think that's his name. Anyway, he teaches history courses through Compass Classroom for high schoolers. And last year my kids did antiquity. This year I'm gonna have my daughter do the Middle Ages course that goes right after antiquity. And so she's gonna be working through that. And how that works is it's an online based course. I believe you can buy DVDs for it too. And maybe like a USB thing too. So if you want like a hard copy of it, that's how you can do that, I think. But we've only done like the online version. So you become a member of the classroom and then you're able to view it in there. And so basically what it is you can print out the student workbook, and that has like extra essays that they are assigned to read, and review questions, and also like quiz questions and things like that. And then they watch a lecture, and that's their lesson. So there's extra assignments after the lesson, after the lecture as well. They do a portfolio entry after each lesson if you want to do that. And then there's also research paper projects and other projects throughout the year as well. Like there's like 3 of those throughout the year. And those are really good. So anyway, we loved the antiquity course last year. I'm really excited about this one, and I'm hoping that it goes well. My younger daughter too, she's going to be also learning like the Middle Ages time period as well. So while they won't be using the same curriculum, my younger one can still listen into the lectures if she wants to, if she's around, and they're going to be studying the same time period, which really helps to kind of like create like this togetherness of your family. And a lot of homeschoolers, what I'm seeing is that when their kids get to high school, it's kind of like the family splits off into 2 separate, 2 separate units. And I like to keep it together as much as we can. So if we're all studying the same thing, we don't have to be using the same book or the same curriculum, but if we're all studying the same thing, there's a lot of crossover there. There's a lot of like dinner table talk. There's a lot of, just things that you're kind of learning about together. And it's really nice. It's like, hey, there might be a big age gap here, and there might be, some differences in the curriculum, but we're all talking about the same time period, which is really fun. So that's what she's going to be using for history. The other thing that she is going to be using is for science. Moving on to science. We're going to be doing Apologia's chemistry with the lab component. And so she also has a notebook, which I did not grab. The notebook has a place for her to write down all of the vocab and things like that. The study guide, which is huge. So I definitely recommend getting the notebook as well. I think this is going to be a very rich course. I think it's going to be challenging, but I think it's going to be really good. There are a lot of experiments. So we did this last year with a lab or a biology lab too. So you can read my review on that. It was excellent though. So it's a self-paced chemistry course through Apologia. You can go on there, you can watch the lectures, you can watch the videos that go along with each lesson. It has a really nicely laid out lesson plan for them, so you can just follow it every single day and check that off. And so I am hoping that this is just as good. I'm going to be doing a full review of this very soon, so watch out for that. And I think that this is going to be great. We loved the biology one, and this is a big check mark to get done, at home. But I find that the Apologia, like self-paced online courses, are just as good as a co-op. I would just much prefer doing that at home, and so we're not running all over the place like crazy. And so that's what she's going to be doing. And my younger daughter, my 6th grader, is going to be using Apologia's chemistry and physics for kind of that middle age or that middle school level as well. So they're going to both be studying chemistry, but just at their own level. So that's what she's going to be using for science. A few more things that I have planned for her in our morning meeting time. I'm going to have her practice mapping. So kind of using the Charlotte Mason approach. This wouldn't be for a credit. This is just something like very, just kind of like an extra enrichment type of activity. So you give your child a blank map and then a control map with all of the countries printed on them. So usually it would be like a continent, like a map of a continent, and then a control map of the continent with all of the countries printed on it. And then they just every day take their blank map and see how much they can fill in. And hopefully the idea is that after a couple of weeks, they're able to fill in that entire map without looking at the control map. So I'm going to have both of my girls be doing that and working on that. And then I am also going to be doing, together with both of my girls, a new curriculum from Beautiful Feet Books called Book of Composers. And it has playlists, it has activities to go with it. I'm mostly just focused on the beautiful book that is the main component of this curriculum, reading through that, and then just listening to beautiful music as we do our morning meeting every day. So she's going to be doing that. The curriculum actually is great because it is made for like 3rd through 12th grade. So it's not just for younger kids, like it can be for any age kids, which is great. The other thing that she's going to be doing another course in the spring for a college course. So she's going to be doing, I believe, 3 college courses over the 2 semesters. So she will have that. And then the other thing that I might add on as just kind of like maybe a half literature credit, because this year she's not doing, the last 2 years she did like an American literature class, a British literature class, a lot of reading. And she really does love literature though. So I believe for this year, I did this several years ago with my oldest when he was in high school, is this fun course. It's called Movies as Literature, where you are viewing, I believe there's like 17 movies in here, and you're talking about plot, you're talking about climax, the pace of the movie, different like motives of the movie, maybe hidden messages or, subliminal messages, those kinds of things. So I think we're going to be using this, and maybe I will stretch it out through the whole year, but I need to kind of plot out how our weeks are going to look. But this was a really fun course to do with my oldest when he was still in high school. And so I think I might just pull this out again and do this. I know you're probably wondering, like, what are some of the movies? And let me just tell you, E.T. is one of them. Rear Window with, oh my gosh, what is the guy's name from It's a Wonderful Life? Jimmy Stewart? I think so. I think it's him. Anyway, I believe that's an Alfred Hitchcock movie. It's kind of like scary, but it's made in like the 50s. So To Kill a Mockingbird, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Henry V, Chariots of Fire, The Music Man. So there's a lot of old movies, which I love watching with my kids anyway. And then they have like things to look out for, like things to watch for when you're, viewing the movie, and then suggestions for further reading, and then also suggestions to write on. So like for them to write essays about each movie. So there's just a lot of information in here about the movies, and like it's just kind of a fun way to examine kind of a piece of art as literature, but it's a movie. So anyway, very fun, very cool. And we might just do that for like a fun literature credit, even though she has, sufficient literature credits probably already, but it might just be something different and fun. So anyway, I'm hoping that I can schedule that in as well. So I think that is everything on my list. We also have like our extra activities and band and, our friend groups and things like that we always have on our agenda. So it's going to be a great year. It's going to be full. It's going to be fun. And let me know if you have any questions. If you have a high schooler, let me know in the comments below what I forgot, or if there's anything else that you guys had questions on. You can check the links below for all the things, and you can get, anything off the list that you need. So have a great day. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next video.